The 2026 FIFA World Cup, a historic expanded global event, is already getting overshadowed by politics because days before the official World Cup draw, Iran has announced it is boycotting the event in Washington. The United States has denied visas to several of their top football officials. And this isn't just any delegation. The denial includes a senior office bearer in Asian football, someone deeply embedded in FIFA's own leadership structure, which forces us to ask, should FIFA have stepped in much earlier to prevent this political storm? And more importantly, is this the beginning of something far more catastrophic for the 2026 World Cup? Now, ever since the US secured co-hosting rights, there have been massive concerns. How would the country handle sporting participation from nations the US has already restricted? Because under the Donald Trump administration, travel bans were placed on multiple countries. They've to be 12, in fact, to be specific, a list that includes Iran and even Haiti, who've only just qualified. Immediately, eyebrows were raised. Fans, federations, and international bodies all wanted to know, how will the US guarantee the participation of teams coming from banned or restricted nations? To calm nerves, Washington issued a waiver stating players, coaches, and even close family would be allowed entry at the Secretary of State's discretion. Yes, at the discretion of the Secretary of State. And now the consequences of that vague phrasing are there for the entire football world to see. The World Cup draw is happening this week, and Iran is already facing serious hurdles. Visas for some of their top officials have been rejected, which includes Iran Football Federation President Mehdi Taj, a man who wears three influential hats. He's the president of Iran's federation, yes, but he's also the vice president of the Asian Football Confederation and the member of two FIFA committees. This is not a fringe figure. This is someone central to Asian football governance, someone routinely involved in FIFA's decision-making, and importantly, someone with no political record whatsoever. His entire career is rooted in sports administration. So the obvious question is, on what grounds did the US reject his visa? And if athletes are protected by the waiver, why aren't the very officials who run global football? Does the waiver not apply to the World Cup draw? Or is this just the first of many political flashpoints that we are going to see? So if this is where we've come to, should FIFA have intervened earlier? Remember, this is the same FIFA that proudly champions football for all, the same FIFA that recently helped coordinate and fund the rebuilding of the Afghan women's football team, reviving dreams lost under the Taliban regime. But when it comes to Iran and Mehdi Taj, there is silence. So should Gianni Infantino, of all people, be demanding clarity from the US and their leader? The World Cup is still some months away, but the road leading up to it, that looks shaky already, with this episode only being the tip of the iceberg. Because let's face it, this is preparations for a World Cup event. It's going to demand bigger logistical clearances right along the way till the very end. Right now, it's only about visas for office bearers, but the next stage, clearances for athletes, coaches, medical staff, analysts, media crews, entire squads of people who make a World Cup function, and the biggest challenge, of course, football fans who are dying to travel from all over the world to America. Because this story isn't just about Iran. Of course, there's Haiti, first-timers, Cape Verde, Curaçao, and several nations that don't really fall under the US visa waiver system. And we are only talking of a single aspect of tournament organization here. With 3 countries co-hosting, there is a myriad of issues that are threatening to pop up right along the way. And the signs so far are crystal clear. The Trump administration seems fixed on their way or the highway, and fans are already feeling the impact of it. Rejected applications, longer screenings, higher scrutiny, and complete uncertainty about whether they can really even attend the biggest sporting event on the planet. The sports governing body now finds itself in a tight, uncomfortable corner. Yes, they must abide by the host nation's regulations, more so here since it's USA. That's non-negotiable. But how will they balance that with the image that they really spent years creating and curating? FIFA has branded itself as a place for everyone, a global home of inclusivity, a celebration that welcomes every player, every supporter, every culture. But right now, that promise increasingly looks like just branding decorating a piece of paper. Slick words, in glossy presentations. And the reality, that's a far-off picture stamped with one word: rejection. Rejected visas, rejected delegations, rejected fans. And ultimately, the rejection of the dream of a World Cup for all.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.